Hi, everyone. This is Rico Figliolini, host of Peachtree Corners Life here in the smart city of Peachtree Corners, just north of Atlanta. I have a great guest today, David Codrea. Hey, David. Thanks for
Hi
joining us.
there. How's it going?
Good, good. Appreciate you being with us. Dave's the co-founder and partner in Greenleaf Capital Partners here in Atlanta, as well as the Ride Lounge here in Peachtree Corners. But before we get to that, just want to say thank you to our corporate sponsors for supporting us, our journalism, the podcast, the magazines, everything that we do here to bring stuff to life for the citizens of Peachtree Corners. So Vox Populi, if you go to voxpopuli.com, you can find out more about them. But essentially, if you have a brand, they help build that brand for you. They'll bring that brand to life for you. Whether it's an apparel with a logo on it, or it's you have an icon or a logo you want to put on almost any object, they'll figure it out for you. If you go into a trade show, they'll set up the whole trade show for you. They'll ship it there. They ship all over the country. You need a vehicle wrap, they'll do that too. So most anything that you need to show how your brand is alive, they can do that for you. So visit them at voxpopuli.com. And also EV Remodeling Inc. They're based here in Peachtree Corners as well. Uh, they've handled over 260 families they've served to transform their homes everywhere from here in Atlanta to Dunwoody, Johns Creek, Alpharetta, Peachtree Corners, Duluth, all over the north part of Metro Atlanta. They can transform your home, anything, kitchen, bath, whole house remodel, outside, the outside living space, whatever you need done, they can do it. Eli, just reach out to him and he'll be able to take care of it. evremodelinginc.com is the business website address. And you can subscribe to a trial period with them as well to learn about some of the plans that they create. So whole house renovation, that's what they do. Great. Appreciate those guys being supporters of ours. So let's let's get to talking now because there's lots to talk about. Um, Dave, you've been leading integration and growth for the investment firm that you operate, the full service real estate company, right? Greenleaf Capital Partners. Um, Tell us a little bit about yourself, actually, first, about who you are, where you come from. Yeah, I know you've been in the real estate business for about 20 years, but there's there's been
Yeah.
more before that. So tell us a bit about that. Whatever's
The,
safe to
the
say.
the years in real estate keep getting longer and longer, but the years before real estate don't have that same issue. So,
Yeah.
but now I grew up in the Northeast and north of Philadelphia, and basically
Okay.
as I graduated college, I was like, how far south do I have to go until it stops snowing? And
Mm,
that basically got to Atlanta, and
okay.
it's been good here, but I've liked real estate my whole life, so
Have you?
naturally that's what I've been doing my entire career here in Atlanta
Yeah.
with the firm Greenleaf that I started with my partner Josh Friedenson. And we buy, we look at like what do we do? It's we basically buy challenging assets and figure out what we can do with them and how do we turn them around, how do we turn them into something useful.
So
That's the fun part, really.
yeah, I would think that you're not buying them and then figuring out what to do with them, or are you doing
Well,
that too?
we like to think we have a great plan going in, but sometimes it definitely changes midstream. So
Okay.
you got to be flexible with what you can ultimately do.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
You took you were acquiring rental homes in Pennsylvania, it sounds like, if I read that correctly.
Yeah.
Um, Rental homes in Pennsylvania. What part of Pennsylvania was that?
It's like Allentown. So it's about an hour and a half north of Philadelphia,
Okay.
but it's a pretty small town.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no.
that area, it's different. You look at the South, like the Northeast, I mean, I had rental homes that were built in the 1860s.
Yeah, no
So
doubt, I
we don't
bet.
have anything that touches the 1860s here in Atlanta that is readily available.
No, because I think Sherman burned it all down in Atlanta. It's just all
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, so unfortunately.
Yeah. So
Um,
it was really cool old buildings that are up there. And that's really what I got started doing. And I just enjoyed fixing everything up, learning about it, seeing the progress.
you were
And
actually were you actually pounding the nails on the weekends and
I
stuff?
did everything.
Did
Yep.
you? Yeah.
Paint, floors, electrical, everything you can put together.
Okay.
Uh, I would do. I really enjoyed that part. That was a lot of fun. I did that for, you know, I don't know, all like summers in high school, summers over college, that kind of stuff. I was always working on
Well,
some kind of project like that at rental properties. And
well, I can feel the aspiration in there of finishing something up and feeling good about it, maybe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and along the way you learn. Some of the best experiences are when you're doing something that you don't know what you're doing. And you look back on it, you're like, hey,
Yes.
remember when we did when we did it that way? It was a disaster, but it was fun.
Yeah, it's funny. I worked for a, remodeling couple of guys that did podcast home renovation radio show, but they pounded the nails during the week, and they would always tell me stuff that they would go into these $1 million little cabanas because it's California, Northern California. So they were probably worth 50,000 when they were bought. They were $2 million, 1,200 square foot homes now, and they needed renovation. They would go in and they find all sorts of stuff hidden, bad things under the floors and the walls. Yeah. So real
Yeah.
estate is not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
No, but like every time you fix something or cover it up or open up walls, I always like to like,
Yeah.
you put little baseball cards, you'd put something in there because someone is going to open it up eventually and they get to find that later on. We found stuff like that all the time.
Did you?
And
Okay.
it was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. You could be a time capsule in that wall also. So
Yes. Sometimes there's not so great stuff like, oh, these pipes aren't connected and
yeah.
it's a complete mess. But
Oh,
it was a great way to like learn, you know, how does everything actually work in the real estate space?
so when you
Just
came
get in there,
down,
get your hands dirty.
yeah. So when you came down from Pennsylvania, because I know this from living in Brooklyn and New York, very different building codes. Okay. Wires had to go into solid pipes versus down here, you could put wiring in the wall and nothing protecting it. At least when I moved down here in the early 90s. Did you
Yeah.
find different things going on?
Well, I mean, the main part too is just price.
Mm,
When I moved down, it was 2008, 2010
yeah.
range. And it was like, there was a lot of stuff you could buy. There were a lot of problems. And cities, for the most part, were just really excited you were willing to fix things up.
Mm,
So,
sure.
at that point in time, like we'd be at properties, the cities would bring the permitting to us.
Huh,
So like, hey, you don't have the right thing to do this. We'll bring it to you. Don't leave. Don't stop doing anything. Don't stop spending money. And
really?
here's what we need to do. So it was a great time frame, you know, to
Oh,
be in
yeah.
Atlanta and to be building stuff.
Yeah. I remember 2008 was when the crash happened, the real estate bubble.
Yeah.
So if you had cash, yeah, you could buy all sorts of stuff down here.
Yeah.
Uh,
And pricing down here, I lived in Washington, D.C. for a little, and the costs were just
oh, yeah.
significantly higher than buying stuff down here. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit more of a, opening to even get into the business on a larger scale.
For sure. I think I know, not to say, I mean, when I moved in 95, I think almost anyone could get a general contractor's license and go into business.
Yeah.
It didn't take much. You could lose your shirt that way, but it didn't take much to do that. But yeah, so, but you guys have acquired quite a bit. It seems like, millions
Yeah.
of square feet of leasing space throughout the Southeast, not just
Yeah,
in.
we're in about 8 states right now.
Okay.
So we own stuff all over the Southeast and in a bunch of different asset classes at this point. We started in residential. I think that's kind of a common, you know,
Yeah.
easiest way to get into real estate place to start is
Yeah.
you get a rental home. That's kind of like
Yeah.
step one. Learn
Yeah.
what it's
For sure.
like. From there, yes. Now we've got, a big retail division,
Right.
commercial,
So
residential, everything.
how do you find that? I mean, yeah, the rates have been going up a little bit. That supposedly they say the rates may come down 100 basis points by the end of the year. Who knows? It's all, watching the tea leaves, I guess. Um, but so commercial real estate also has had some issues, right? Lately in the last couple of years. So they're looking at, vacancy rates because of COVID and all that. Has that affected you all at all? At all?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's always like a shift in how real estate is used,
Mm,
especially if you own something for a really long time.
yeah.
And I mean, you think about it, as long as you're willing to adapt and shift in what the use could be, you got a lot of great opportunities. I mean, just pickleball, for example, like pickleball
Mm,
has been super popular,
yep.
a crazy use for re really retail real estate space that hadn't been seen before. You've got pickleball courts now that have bars and restaurants around them. It's like this didn't
Yes.
exist 10 years ago. So you got to be willing to adapt and do that kind of stuff. And sure, whatever was in that space before,
Mm,
maybe it didn't work. Maybe it was a call center. Maybe it's something that, went bust and now
yeah.
this is in there. So
Well, that
there's a
and
lot of stories like that of how to adapt and move forwards.
And you're willing to be flexible to look at things, to brainstorm and put stuff around that may not have been there, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And consumer interests and locations and the
Mhm.
demand and whatever is around it, it changes, you know,
I totally
almost
agree.
guaranteed.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you look at pickleball, like you said, there's I think it's I forget the brand, but there's a couple of franchises. All they want to do is sell their franchise. You could put 10 pickleball courts into a warehouse, just paint the lines, pretty much just paint the lines. Don't put anything but a pro shop, maybe quote pro shop in it, and now you got a pickleball
Yeah.
place. Right? You don't have if you worry about food, you could always get a food truck out front versus trying to put the food inside. So I mean, yeah, there's lots you can do. I mean, everything from pickle and social up in Sewanee, which is like a rooftop bar and restaurant and play area and stuff. Yeah, there's all sorts of
Yeah.
things you can do out there. Retail, even retail is having some issues a little bit now. But
Yeah. I mean, one of the things we did, like when, after 2020 and COVID, and there's kind of this thought that all dine-in restaurants are now over. It's like no one's going to go back ever again. It's like that
yeah,
wasn't the case.
no,
A lot of them are doing great.
yeah,
So we're like, okay, is there an opportunity to buy some of that stuff that at the time sounds like the world is collapsing when
yeah.
when it
Yeah,
didn't.
no, that's
So
Dave. I mean, you're right. I mean, the world looked like it was collapsing.
it
Ship,
sort of did it at the time,
ships
but
ships were not shipping.
yeah.
The whales actually were out there being happy without the sonars and stuff. It's like, yeah, I mean, there was less pollution actually in the air. It was just amazing how Manhattan air apparently was better. I think after during
Yeah.
COVID. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was like the moment in time where, you know, people that don't get excited to be around a ton of people or, maybe less excited. They're like, this is great. We've been prepared for this our whole life. This is gonna
yeah,
be amazing now. It's
yeah.
actually some peace and quiet.
It's almost like the preppers are coming to roost.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but yeah, so different classes of investments you own. So you own retail as well as restaurants and Class A maybe or Class B office buildings and warehouses
yeah,
and
we own a lot of single story office buildings
okay.
that we've then converted to various uses
And
from them.
are you basically own and lease at this point versus own
Correct.
and sell?
Yeah, for the most part, we buy and hold most of our assets, and we do sell stuff. But
Okay.
our business philosophy is to find something that's out of favor or less interesting and
Right.
get it at a good basis, fix it up, make it usable to a new user, a new use, someone has a different vision, and
Mhm.
then rent that space to them
So
and then hold it and operate it.
so as a real estate firm, what's your cash flow philosophy in this stuff? Because that's a whole big
Yeah.
thing, right? I mean, just
Yeah.
that.
I mean, the thing that, cash flow, you can't ever really have enough of it, right?
Sure,
You've
sure.
got debt service that you always got to look at. So our cash flow strategy is really how do we be as conservative as we can on assumptions? How do we be as conservative as we can with debt?
Right.
Where, you know, for the past 18, 20 years, we've really only done fixed rate debt. We want to know what we're having.
Mm,
And we've never really done interest only debt.
okay.
We've always done a principal. We like shorter AM. So just a more conservative approach to like, if you're going to take out a loan, you, you better have a good plan of how you're paying it back. Because like
Yeah.
eventually you
So
got to
what
pay
would
it all
you?
back. So
Yes, God knows they do want the money back at some point.
yes, they're not giving it out and then you don't have to, you got to pay them back.
Yes, it's not like
You better
Elon
have a pretty
Musk.
darn good plan on how
Yeah,
you're
it's
doing
not like
that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and if you don't have that, I've seen people like that where they go in, they want to flip homes and stuff. They think they can do it. All of a sudden, they get backed up. They have too many pieces of property now, and they have to start renting them and try to sell them, and then it just becomes a nightmare at that
Yeah.
point. So, what would you say if you were mentoring a young entrepreneur trying to get into this aspect of the business? What would you tell them?
That you got to be patient. It never happens right away. It
Hmm.
it it's a great business to be in if
Yeah.
you're willing to be patient and like there's going to be a hard challenge every quarter. There's going to be something that doesn't go your way. You got to work through that one thing and just keep the wheels moving.
Okay. Okay. Good
But there's no,
advice.
yeah, real estate, there's not a lot of shortcuts on how you're going to accumulate and operate real estate assets.
Yeah,
So
so that reminds me a little bit about some of the rest of your background too, about adventures, uncomfortable adventure is the quote I've heard, and how that shapes leadership.
yeah,
You've been caught in some rafts that have sunk, maybe also lost on a skiing trip and stuff.
yeah.
Um, can you tell us a little bit about that and how that might have helped shape
Well,
who you are?
I mean, a lot of times people, you study, you try to become better at whatever you're interested in life, and then you can't really test it unless you get yourself into some kind of hard or challenging or difficult situation where you can really apply like, hey, can I handle this, or can I deal with this stress, or can I figure out this problem? That can be in your personal stuff, that can be work, career. I kind of choose to do that through the adventure route of how can I go find interesting situations to be in and see how you do. Do you get stressed out and things fall apart? Are you able to bring everyone together and get through? How do you
You're
how do you
like
work
a
in that moment?
You're like a novelist that's called a pantser, where they start writing the story not knowing where it's going until they
Yeah.
get there.
We
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the one business that I started, the Ride Lounge, I love doing road trips. We did a road trip this summer to North Dakota. So it was almost
nice.
5,000 miles.
Yeah.
And some of the days we're driving, we're not sure where we're going to stay. We're not sure how we're going to get there. We're not sure how far we're going. And my wife is sometimes she's like, "Can we just plan some of these things?" I was like, "But it's going to be interesting to figure out how it works."
Yeah. Well, you at least know where the gas station is, right?
Yeah, and we've got extra gas just in case. So, you be
Okay, good.
prepared,
Okay.
have somewhat of a direction, but it's
So what
it
were you
makes
driving?
things interesting.
What were you driving?
I've got a giant Sprinter van.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
from Peachtree
Nice.
Corners, I got a big white Sprinter van that I drive around with, drop my kids off to school in that thing. And people are like, what is this? So
Okay, good, good, good. It's listen, an adventure is everyone would love an adventure, but like your wife says, you want to control that a little bit sometimes, right? Well, that's good. So,
oh
you need to be able to get out of your comfort zone, I think, right? Leadership
yeah.
comes from being in the midst of something that seems unattainable, or you might be up to your neck in trouble, and then you're going to have to figure it out. I mean, do you have an example that you want to share with us on something like that
Well,
where
I mean,
or
one of the
example?
things I'm doing right now is hiking the highest point in every state with my daughter. My daughter's 12, so she's in seventh
Wow.
grade. And we've done
Oh,
29 of them at this point. So we've done 29 different states where we went to the highest point. And
yeah.
each time, some of them are a lot harder than others, but
Yeah.
you're like trying to hike up this mountain and
Now
you've
you're
got this,
hiking up, not mountain climbing, right? You're hiking.
well, some of them are scrambling-ish.
Really? Oh, wow.
So, but if you're on
How,
like a 10, 12-hour hike,
that's
there's going to be some
exhausting.
points where it's like, hey, can I actually make it up there?
Yeah.
So you got to
Well,
push through. And
how old was she when she started?
well, she was probably like, my, my wife is going to come across as very understanding. When my daughter was about 2 months old, we drove from Philadelphia to Atlanta, and my wife went along with it, and we went to the highest point in North Carolina, which is Mount Mitchell. And I got a picture of my daughter up there sitting on the sign. I was like, "Hey, this sounds like something fun. We could drive to all these." My wife's like, "What are we doing?" Uh,
Mm, wow. That is
but
no, that is cool. And a 12-year-old telling her class the last place she climbed, hiked. Yeah, I could
yeah,
see that. Her friends are probably all like, "Oh my God."
yeah. Some are think it's fun. Some things that's like, why would you ever want to do that?
Yeah.
But I've been on some hikes with her where we did the highest point in South Dakota when she was like 6, and it's like a 6-hour hike or so. And it's like, okay,
Well,
she made it.
yeah,
Wasn't
it takes
easy, but
you.
she made it. So
And yeah, most kids at that age would be like, after the first half mile, Dad, are we done yet? Are we there yet?
yeah,
Yeah, 10 more
definitely.
hours.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have, Dave?
I've got 3 kids. They're in seventh, fourth, and second grade.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah.
Cool. Good experience. I mean, for a kid like that to be able to go and do that. Um,
Yeah.
so is the wilderness the same thing as that you find in the boardrooms and investment meetings? Is it like is it wild a
Well,
little bit or
especially in the types of assets that we're looking to acquire at Greenleaf. So we're trying to find things that have problems. One of the over the past really 24 months, 18, 24 months, we bought a lot of essentially vacant call centers where
Yeah.
you talk about a vacant call center, no one's like, "Hey, that sounds great. We'd love to do this."
Yeah.
And we're taking those buildings to figure out what's a better use we can do here. How can we make this a usable building? Cities don't want to see the vacant stuff there.
No,
No
they
one
don't.
wants to like be driving by vacant buildings. People are like,
Yeah.
"But why doesn't someone do something with that?" And
Wow.
so, and
Okay.
sometimes that plan, doesn't go as exactly as planned. But a lot of times you're going, we got to go figure out what are we going to do and how are we going to go find other users of this space.
Have you any unusual uses that you've done in some of the spaces?
I mean, one of the great tenant of ours is a group called Farmhounds. They're over on the west side of town, but they are I would say like a high-end um, dog food processing plants. They make
Yeah.
like dog treats that are
Yeah.
like just very healthy,
What's it
not
called?
processed. It's called Farmhounds.
Farmhounds. Okay.
Yeah, so great product. They're
Uh-huh.
one of our tenants. We took a space that was, man, they were next to it and they took over a whole other building that we had, and it was a exciting transition moving a dilapidated kind of like not well maintained building and fixing the whole thing up, and then having them come in and they're, you know, it
Yeah.
looks like a high-end commercial grade kitchen when they're in there.
Yeah.
Because they've got food processors, food drying. They're making all the little dog biscuits and everything.
Mm.
You see them when you feed your dog a treat, but you're like, wait, where do all these things come from? And they
Wow.
got an excellent business. It's exciting to see that transition from like something that's crappy and
Yeah.
underused and messy to like, man, this place, they know what they're doing. And
Yeah. They have to fit the
excellent
health.
product.
Yeah. They have to make sure the health codes are met and stuff. I'm sure the
Yes.
place
Yeah.
this is spick and span. But,
No.
wow. Um, all
So
right.
I like that. I love seeing it go from like bad to like, this is amazing. Look at this space. It looks so cool.
That's cool. See, and I love when the carpet nap faces a certain way after you vacuum it. Or the grass outside actually after it's cut
Oh,
that it has its shades in there.
yeah.
Um, yeah, little things that make us all happy. So how you guys obviously have a great vehicle like that idea of traveling with it and going to 22 states like that. Well, do you have a car collection? Do you have other cars that
I would say I've got some vehicles that people are kind of like, what are these things? So I've got
okay.
uh, I'm at our car club now, but they're in the background. I've
Yeah.
got Sprinter vans, which are huge. I've got a 1984 fire truck that's, you know,
Yes, I saw
30
that.
feet long and
Yeah, I saw that on there.
12 feet high.
What
And
made
then
you buy
camp,
that? What ma-
I mean, it looks really cool and fits nine people in the cab. Not many
Does it?
vehicles can you put nine people in the seats up front. So,
And it actually works.
yep,
It
yeah.
works.
All the
Are you,
sirens go on. It
oh
can
yeah.
pump water.
Are you
It's a
allowed to
tanker
have?
truck, so it can basically attach to a fire hydrant and spray water all over the
Could
place.
you really? So are you allowed to have that as legal? You can't turn the fire. You can't turn the alarms on when you're on the real street, I imagine.
No, no, I
Oh
think
yeah.
you get in trouble for that one.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I've almost everywhere I take it, people are always coming up to me and see it, and I've had, gosh,
That's
I was in the Ingalls parking lot up the street here, and one of the
yeah.
police officers over there came up and he's like, "Does this thing work?" He's like, "Can you turn it on?" So I turned on the sirens for him. He's like, "I can't believe this is ridiculous."
Yeah, okay. So the fire department, the guys go over to Ingles also sometimes to do shopping.
Yeah.
It'd be funny to drive up right next to them. Just wave by.
Theirs are a little fancier. Like Gwinnett Fire Department, like they got some
Yes.
nice stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Can't fool around with that. Um, so you and Josh came up with this idea to repurpose. I'm assuming you own the building, right? Is that the
Yes.
right
Yeah.
assumption? Yeah. You own the building. You have this space, 20,000 square feet or so, I guess. And eh, let's make a club here. Well, how did all that come about? Like, how did you
Yeah.
think about that? What,
Well, I mean,
kind of
I've always
walk
been
me
into
through.
like fixing things and doing
Huh?
stuff. So I mean, I've liked cars my whole life. So that's always been, you know, part of who I am. And we were looking for a space where we could build a unique car club experience because
Uh-huh.
a lot of places is either you're like a car mechanic shop. That's one way of looking at it, or you
Yeah.
have kind of like just the the super high-end cars where people are like, hey, don't touch this, don't look at this.
Hmm.
We wanted more. How do we build a place where people can bring in cars, bring in their family, and tell the story of what they're doing with it? So that led to starting the Ride Lounge. And almost everyone here is a car fanatic, but not necessarily just from the car angle, from the story of what that car is, what
Mm.
they've done with it, where they've been with it.
Right.
Mostly all of our people are driving them frequently, and they're unique vehicles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was out there. We're going to have a link in the show notes where people can go visit and find out a little bit more about the Ride Lounge. But yeah, when I was out there, um, I saw a little Fiat. We used to call them fix it again, Tony, type cars in the 70s because they weren't that great back then. Um, but I saw that there. Saw the Mini Coupe, a really small Mini Coupe. Looked like
yeah.
small to me. I was
See
like,
that car is unique. I mean, it was built in Italy, and the
yes, that's
owner
what. Yeah.
had it, since 1972, imported from
Wow.
Italy to the US, still drives it this day. It's like he remembers driving that with his dad back in Italy. So
That is
having
cool.
stuff like that is really cool. And
Yeah.
Joe, the individual that owns that, if you want to be like, hey, let's go take this, let's go drive this around, check it out, we'd love to. So that's kind of the different angle where the
Yeah.
our group, and the membership that we have at the Ride Lounge are just excited to share their story and share what they're doing.
Yeah, I would think yeah, I mean that I've driven in Naples and stuff back during the late 70s and then the mid 90s. And I would never people in Naples, they don't know anything about a traffic light. At least back then, they'd be going through red lights, green lights on the sidewalk if they had to get around traffic. Just really bad. And Atlanta wasn't bad when I moved down here, but let me tell you, I mean, it's just I would never drive that Mini Coupe on 85. I would just
Oh,
be
oh,
too like not happening. I
yeah.
need a
Peachtree
big car.
Corners is fine. You can
Yes.
drive, you can drive around here is pretty easy and you're not like
Yes.
on
Yeah.
285
Sure,
trapped.
for sure.
Um,
What other type of cars are there? I think I saw a Tesla. I saw a bunch of different
Yeah, it's
um
really, when we look at the types of vehicles and the members that we have that join the club. So there's really two aspects. There's like the join as social member or store a car here. So we have room for about 55 cars total that are here. And it's really like what's a car that's interesting to you that you still want to use on a daily basis and drive in and out.
yeah.
So most of it is, hey, I've always liked this car. I want to have this. How can I get it? Like where am I going to put it? But one of our guys has like the classic blue and white striped Viper, and it's
I
like
saw that. Yeah.
it's amazing. And he's like, when I was little, this car was awesome when it came out, and now it would be great to have one. So drives his kid around, and his kid too is like, this is such a cool car. My dad's got this cool car. Um,
Yeah, and I don't know
so
well enough to make a model. I remember having Matchbox cars, uh replicas of real cars like that,
yeah,
driving around. But um so can anyone like if you're a member there and you're a member, you have your car there, can I come there almost anytime and take my car out for a spin?
yeah, yeah. So
Anytime.
the anytime, yeah, the unique part of it is that our cars, our members' cars are not like trapped in. They're not like bubble wrapped and locked so they can't ever get
Yeah,
them
like
in
a
and
new.
out. Our
Yeah.
members here, like they frequently take them in and out,
Yeah.
or swap out cars or put different stuff in there. So some guys have convertibles, so they just leave, you leave the top off. It's nice, come over and drive it. If it's not, well, it's inside, it's air conditioned, it'll stay fine.
And you have within, so it's not just cars, right? You have a kitchen, you have a conference room, I think.
Yeah.
You have like
Yeah,
a
so we have a
living
whole
room
social
area.
club inside. That's
Yeah.
so the social membership group that's here
Uh-huh.
is we do a couple different events a month, always family friendly stuff.
Saw
And
that.
we've
You
got
can,
we've got some working space. People can do meetings here. We got conference rooms, and we have a whole lounge, TVs, and
right?
like a big lounge bar area too.
Yeah, I could see, just hanging out, having a beer or something or a drink. And so you have events coming up. What's the next event coming up?
We're doing so
Yeah.
again, it's a mix of cars. So it's not like we're only looking at like Ferraris or something.
Right.
We have a Toyota group that's doing a car show this Saturday, which
Okay.
is the 23rd. So
Yes, I see that. And
and
that's
it's all off-road. Toyotas. If you look at anything off-road, Toyota's like just dominant in that category.
Huh.
So everything from going all the way back to like FJ40s, 60s, 80s, 100 series. Um,
And that's
most
between
all the
9 and 12 on Saturday. Right.
correct.
See
Yep.
that, right? Okay. All right, cool.
And it's a
Um,
unique setting because we've had some stuff inside, so it works rain or shine
right. So
anytime
this
we're
is,
doing a car show.
and for those listening to this, unfortunately, you may have missed it because this is this Saturday, August 23rd. This feed may not go out until Sunday or Monday. So you won't be for that, but check them out because happy hour, you do that Fridays 3 to 5
Yeah.
sometimes.
Like we don't really have a great name for it, but it's like 3 to 5. We've got families and kids and kind of schools getting out on Friday. It's
Right?
a great place to
Yeah,
swing by and
cool.
yeah,
And you did something you
get ready
do,
for the weekend.
got a drive-in,
Uh
sort of a
yeah,
drive-in
we
movie.
did one of our events for the social club was a drive-in movie,
Yeah,
which
what
we
was what was the
we
movie?
watched Cars.
Yes.
It's like oh, I think we actually watched Cars 3. So,
Does it cost three? Okay.
yeah. But it's gosh, it was,
Oh, Gran
you know,
Turismo, I think.
no, okay. I mean,
Oh,
kids
okay.
were age range from like
Oh, okay.
4 to 12. There's
Yeah.
like 40 kids running around.
Okay.
And
Cool.
we parked a bunch of cars so you could sit in the cars and watch the movie, on a big movie screen, and they had a great time.
Now, can an organization rent the space to do things in?
We do rent the space out some, not not a whole lot, but yeah, we do rent it out, and so I mean it's a great event space. But even on smaller things, there's lots of groups that our members are doing board meetings and offsite. If you need a conference room that's not in your office to sneak away for a little bit, a lot of
Right.
our members use the conference room and space
Right.
to do
And
that.
you
So
guys, that location is 5250 Triangle Parkway. So it's right off the beginning of Tech Park across from Cornerstone Christian Academy
yep,
in the
yeah, we're
Y.
right there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's real close by. It's at the heart of Peachtree Corners, which is a good thing.
Yeah, we can walk to the forum.
Yeah.
So that's where, typically my office is here too. So I'm next to where the ride lounge is at. And yeah, we walk to the forum. It's a great location. We
Okay.
feel very lucky to be that close to all the great stuff Peachtree Corners has done with that their town center area.
Yeah, and it's just growing. It's going to be even more people coming. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast, and
Yeah.
better. I don't know if I should say better food choices, but more food
Well,
choices. Well,
there's a lot of great food choices now, which is fantastic.
yes, yes.
So
Well, yeah. Now, yeah. 10 years ago, maybe not so much, but yeah. But now, definitely for sure,
yeah.
out there. What do you think is? I guess to sort of get towards the end, wrapping this up a little bit. Um, You've had this is a passion project, obviously, the Ride Lounge. Um, do you have any other passion projects coming up that you think you all want to do that, you know, is
I
like
mean,
this? I mean,
we're looking for more locations that we can continue with the ride lounge. So we're trying to do one in town Atlanta, and we're
oh,
looking at
really?
one on the west side of Atlanta as well. So
Okay.
we'd like to just expand what this is. It's been a great uh, opportunity to bring people together. So
Yeah.
that's ultimately like if we can find ways to bring people together uh, that we have commonality with,
Okay.
that's what we're looking to do.
And if anyone has if anyone has a brainstorm or they have an unusual idea for a space of yours, um, is- are you open
Yeah.
to people pitching stuff like that
Oh
too?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, we work a lot with, owning space that we're saying, hey, we're open-minded of what we can figure out here. And then it's kind of coordinating between city, zoning, and
Right.
what the idea is that can go in there. And
Right.
s sometimes it doesn't line up, but a lot of times it does.
Yeah,
And
it's interesting. Some cities are difficult to work with. I think Peachtree Corners is probably one of the easier ones to work with.
yeah,
They've definitely changed some of the codes to allow for like recreational zoning and stuff like that that wasn't there before, or at least not nuanced enough. Um,
yeah.
so that's
And
good.
and for the most part, one of the hardest parts of working with any city is like just yes or no is okay, but just tell us what it can and can't be.
Right.
And for the most part, Peach Corners has been great on that front, and they've enabled. We own a bunch of buildings in the area, and they've worked with us on finding finding the right tenants, make sure the right people are in there, and
Okay.
yeah, it's
Cool.
it's been very good.
Excellent. You've had also Pedal Fest, I think was a fundraiser for Gwinnett County Public Schools Foundation. So you've
Yeah.
done uh, really good community outreach out there. Um, I
Yeah, the
think,
pedal fest, and we'll do that each year, but it's like
will you?
racing around tricycle, like adult tricycles where you try and be competitive and it just doesn't work. They just
But
physically, like, they just don't work.
no, I was
But
going to
that's part of
say,
the joy of it. So it's like the harder you try, the worse you do with those things.
were you drifting with those trikes?
Sort of. It's more like just spinning out and spinning in circles, then you get frustrated. But if you like go slow and steady and work your way around the track, it works a lot better. But no one wants to do that. You want to try and go as fast as you can.
I, we used to do that stuff in the playground when I was a young kid, and parents were like they weren't around looking. Where are you guys? We'd be out and back at like 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night for dinner, and little kids, 10-year-olds. Now everyone's like you want to keep an eye on everyone, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's still got to make it fun out there. I mean, these kids
Yeah.
have to grow
Yeah.
up.
We're the spot we have here, we have a whole parking lot that's kind of like you wouldn't ever drive through the parking lot. So we've got a lot of outdoor space and room to, you know, kids can kind of do their thing out there and it's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
cool.
so-
Yeah, anything else you want to share with us, Dave, that I haven't come across or
No, yeah, I mean we normally do our Friday afternoon gatherings that are open.
okay,
And that's a great time to come meet people. If you've got anything that's interesting from the car front, there's always someone here that either would love to talk about or know something about it. And
okay.
it'd
Good
be great to have
mechanic,
them swing by.
even a good mechanic, maybe.
Well, we've got some guys that are they're self mechanics that love
Uh,
they're taking apart things, working on stuff. I mean, I still work on a bunch of my stuff too. It's fun. They don't
okay.
do it here, but at other
No,
spots we
no,
do it.
I know
So,
for sure. All right. We've been talking about the Ride Lounge. We've been talking with Dave Codrea, co-founder and partner of Greenleaf Capital Partners. A little bit about real estate. It's great to, Pennsylvania guy, come down to the
yeah.
South. It's like there's a lot of New Yorkers, me included, that have decided the South is the place to be. So it's a good thing. Bring up your family here. It's great, and we're fortunate. I mean, when I moved down here, Peachtree Corners was the city I came to, or I should say, it was Gwinnett County that became the city of Peachtree Corners eventually. But
Yeah.
yeah, so thank you for joining me. Appreciate the time you give me, Dave.
Yeah. Rico, it was great talking. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
Same. So hang in there for a second with me. Everyone else, appreciate you being with us. I'll put some of the links in the show notes. If you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, X, just leave comments, maybe like us. If you're listening to this as an audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, anything like that, leave a review, a comment, that would be great. People find it more easily. This is, again, Peachtree Corners Live podcast. Appreciate you checking up on us. And look out for the next issue, Peachtree Corners Magazine. It's the pet issue, so it's going to be out soon. Thank you, guys.